of violence in Gaza, and still the crisis is showing no real signs of letting up, with both Hamas and Israel firing attacks on each other despite ceasefire proclamations.
For more, Kim Hyun-bin is standing by at the news center. Hyun-bin, is there any hope of a possible truce?
Well, over 1,000 people, mostly civilians, have been killed since this conflict began. And in efforts to bring a halt to the bloodshed, the UN Security Council has wrapped up an emergency meeting over the growing number of casualties and called on all parties to lay down their weapons. Our Connie Lee reports.
The UN Security Council has called for an immediate and unconditional humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza to allow for the delivery of urgently needed assistance. The statement comes after an emergency meeting early Monday as military operations resumed in the Gaza Strip despite calls for a truce. Israeli tanks and soldiers are still positioned along the Israeli-Gaza border as talks over a temporary ceasefire broke down. A 24-hour humanitarian truce proposed by Hamas early Sunday to mark the end of the Islamic Ramadan holiday was over by the afternoon, with both sides exchanging fire. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu questioned the validity of the Hamas truce and said his country was not going to let a terrorist organization decide when it's convenient to fire at our cities, at our people, and when it's not. International pressure is on for both parties to resolve the conflict. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon spent last week in the Middle East seeking a peaceful end to the violence. U.S. President Barack Obama also spoke with Netanyahu by phone, calling for an immediate ceasefire. Since the conflict flared up on July 8th, more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed, mostly civilians, including many women and children. It's a scene of massive destruction, as piles of rubble and debris are seen all around the Gaza Strip, as the conflict shows no sign of letting up. Connie Lee, Arirang News.